Yeah, man. One of the things I enjoy talking about kind of my upbringing is, today's social media driven world, bro. You see these like polished and filtered snapshots of an individual who's likely trying to market or message or like do something for some reason. And there can be this massive misconception that's created around this one image that you see. And a lot of times when it comes to me, there's this massive misconception that I've kind of like always been this way, whether that's resilience or toughness or disciplined or structured or goal oriented and like like hyper confident and just like getting after it like every day and all these things, which I understand, which is why I love the chance to kind of dismantle that belief system because it's completely and totally inaccurate. Man, I grew up in and around the Boston area, Massachusetts. I grew up a small, scared, insecure kid. People hear that and the first word small, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Like you're 6'6", like 250. Like it's like, yeah, I know where I'm at now in life, but I was this tiny little peanut. I was picked on. I was bullied on most days. Both my parents, they had me and my youngest sister really young. So they struggled, financially and they were in the grind as 20 and 22-year-olds to keep roof over our head and keep food on the table, which they did. But there came some struggles with that. So we moved around. I moved around a lot. I was in a new spot literally every year up until eventually I got to college. I was a new kid in school,
Wow.
in a new location. Socially, that was really hard. By some instance, if I were to like make a friend, I was off to the next place the next year and just repeat that process. So in today's world, bullying is kind of taken a little bit more seriously than it was back then. Back then it was just kind of part of being a kid
Mhm.
and, get back out there and kind of figure it out. So, but what I like to highlight, man, is, my parents, again, had me super young, but I've had these conversations with them since. And I'm like, did you have this incredible foresight with your approach to the mentorship you gave me? And their answer was no, we had no idea what we were doing. We were just trying to figure it out like most parents do,
Yeah.
especially when you have kids that young, kids having
Yeah.
kids. But my point, man, is what they didn't do was put me in this hyper protective bubble of protection and just kept
Mhm.
me there. What they did was I'd come home beat up physically or emotionally in tears. They'd give me some guidance. They'd give me some recommendations, and then they'd send me right back out into the world.
Mhm.
And like that is the process of conditioning. It's exposure to discomfort, exposure to stress and pressure, and then recovering from that. And you do it
Mhm.
again and again and again, whether it's physical endurance, mental endurance, emotional endurance, or resilience. That's how it's built. And so I got a lot of reps at that from the time I was like 4 years old, all the way up until I was, a late teenager, early, young adult. And so I give my parents and my upbringing, albeit really hard at the time, so much credit that enabled me to do some of the things that I pursued and was able to do later in life that required an enormous degree of mental toughness and resilience because that's a skill, man. And there's only one
Mhm.
way to learn a skill, and that's by getting in the reps. You got to get in the
Yep.
reps. And so I was getting those reps in from the time I was a very young person to all my time into the military. And I'm just grateful for it.